Hello and welcome to Network Africa. I am Adeshewa Josh. Out of the 4 theories of the Sinai plane crash put out there by some analysts, which are the possibility of a bomb on board the aircraft, technical fault, human error, and the possibility that it could have been shut down by a missile, many intelligence experts from the UK and the United States continue to say that the theory of a bomb being on board the Russian Metrojet A321 is the most likely cause of the crash. Intelligence experts from the UK and the US, their conclusions were reportedly drawn based on intercepted communications between militants in the Sinai Peninsula. Meanwhile, the speed with which the British government pointed to terrorism as the possible cause of the downing of the Russian Airbus over the Sinai Peninsula has not gone down well in either Cairo or Moscow. For the Egyptians, the stakes are obvious. Sharm el-Sheikh and the wider tourism industry are crucial elements of its economy. And for the Russians, there is an ongoing investigation, and whatever intelligence that is received will remain speculative until the report of the investigation is released, which usually takes 30 days. Meanwhile, pandemonium is brewing in Sharm el-Sheikh after 7 flights assigned to evacuate British nationals from the holiday spot were halted. 2 EasyJet planes took off from the resort earlier, but 7 were not permitted to land to pick up the tourists. Passengers on the flights that were disrupted have been sent back through security and told to return to their hotels. In total, 21 UK-bound flights are expected to take some of the estimated 19,000 British nationals on holiday in Sharm el-Sheikh home.
The government made a good decision. They're looking after the citizens at the end of the day. But I just think if everything was in a bit more better structure, it would be easier for us Britishers to get back home quicker. But overall, I think the government made the right decision to slowly get us out of Egypt, and also considering our security at the same time as well.
In our resort, we felt very safe. We felt that security was stepped up and they looked after us very well, and we didn't feel unsafe in our resort.
So now let's bring in Channels TV aviation correspondent to talk to us more about the various theories that is out there on what the possible cause of this crash could be. Let me ask you, what are your thoughts on the handling of the Sinai plane investigation, the crash that is?
Anisha, very obviously it's a sad one. We've lost 224 persons, and for aviation it's a sad day because for every plane crash, a volume of people die. Then secondly, in air accident investigation, you're not meant to speculate. For many out there, the US and the UK are preempting the investigation, and it should not be so. Aviation has its own rules. First, Egypt and Russia are already leading the investigation because one is the state of occurrence and another is where the passengers have come from. And so what is expected is that you allow the investigation to go on. Then in 30 days, there should be at least a preliminary report. Until that is done, whatever anybody does is speculative and it's wrong.
Well, so, I mean, like you have said, some people have said that the UK and the US intelligence are altogether speculative. But some others have said that they have one of the most sophisticated intelligence gathering processes, systems in the world. Can their reports be ignored in trying to find out what really happened to this plane?
At this point, you're meant to allow investigation to go on. Whatever you have as information, you provide to the investigators. Whatever report should be coming out should come from those who are investigating the accident, not any speculation. IQ Annex 13 has rules about how air accident investigations should proceed. First, let the investigation be done. Whatever theories, whatever speculations you have, provide to those who are part of the investigation. And when the investigators are done with their job, that report is what should lead us to the cause of the crash and not anybody's intelligence.
So what kind of damage will this barrage of investigations, reports flying around across the UK, the US, what kind of damage can it do to the investigation and even to the families, the families of these victims?
One is that for you to preempt an investigation means that you want to maybe factor in your own cause into that investigation, and that is wrong. And first, while you're doing all of this speculation, you should respect the rights of those who have lost lives. You're saying it's a bomb. You're saying it's this. What if it's not? Many
If
people,
it is?
If it is, let investigators tell us.
Okay.
There are many people out there who want a foreclosure to this accident, and it's only the investigative report that should do this. So when you go out sending all kind of information, of course you're also hurting the investigation, and you're hurting those whose families are involved as well.
And just to corroborate what you've just said, I was watching yesterday the aviation minister, Russia's aviation minister, saying that, look, we were wishing or hoping that whatever intelligence it is that the US and the UK, whatever intelligence they have gathered, I mean, it's not being shared with us. That's why we keep saying let everybody exercise caution. Let me quickly ask you, this is another big blow to the aviation industry after the MH17 was shut down in Ukraine, and of course the MH370 just went missing like that, all in the space of 2 years. How do you see these incidents shape the future of aviation around the world?
Truth is, 2014 was declared the safest year, despite what happened to MH17 and MH370. Flight 9268 now has dented that record. This is the deadliest crash for 2015. It's also the worst to happen to any member of the A320 family, because that aircraft is an Airbus. MH17 and MH370, it was Boeing that actually suffered those losses because they were Boeing jets. Now, Airbus would have to contend with this, take part in the investigation. Of course, you know that accident investigations on the long run, when the accidents occur, what happens is that the results of the investigation helps to keep aviation safer. When the investigators have done their job and the report is out, whatever it is, there will be recommendations. For example, the Germanwings is the reason that today flights in Europe and many other countries will not allow a pilot to exit without maybe a cabin crew coming to sit or a co-pilot.
Right.
Because when the pilots had exited in Germanwings, that's when the younger pilot could do the worst he wanted to do and crash that plane on the mountain. So one thing that will proceed out of this is that aviation will become safer, because the recommendations from accidents are designed to do just that.
Our aviation correspondent, Bukola Joe-Oketunbi, speaking to us right here. Thank you so much for joining us on Network Africa.
Thank you, Adeshewa.
Well, there have also been theories that the Sinai Peninsula had a couple of tourist groups which could have downed that plane. They could have shot that plane down. Now, let's give you facts about Sinai Province militants as we have them. Most active insurgent group in Egypt with 1,000 to 1,500 members. That's the Sinai Province militants. Well, they are operating in the peninsula, and they have been operating since 2011. They pledged allegiance to Islamic State group in November 2014. Carries out suicide bombings, shootings, beheadings. Dozens of Egyptian soldiers have been killed in the process of their operations. Again, we're going to have to wait for the report of the investigation before anyone can determine what really downed the Russian Metrojet A321.